Oh, hello. I was just admiring my shave. I've had this electric razor for like a year and a half now. It's a wet and dry razor. It's one of those bronze electrical shavers. And I've never used it in the shower until this morning. And my face feels like as smooth as a baby's ass. Feels good. If you have one of those shavers, take it in the shower, lather up, and shave while your face is full of soap. Feels good. Feels real good. Anyway, that's not what you tuned in for, is it? Welcome to the Overtaxed Taxpayer channel. I'm overtaxed. First sip of the day, a 6-shot latte with some Costa Rican beans. Anyhow, what I want to talk about today is the people who are taking over this country. It would appear as though it's this country because you don't see what's going on around the world. Their news is just as corrupt as our news, and we're not hearing what is going on there. But it's actually a movement to take over the world. And it's done by a small group of people who utilize larger and larger groups of people as that pyramid scheme goes down. Nobody really knows what the smaller group really is, if you know what I mean. They use activist groups and whatnot. Anyhow, these groups, this conformity that they're forcing upon you and everybody else, it doesn't reach its goal in one stage. It normally is incremental, and each time one of those increments are imposed on a group of people, the citizens of a country, it becomes normal to them. They go on, and that is the new norm. And then the people who want to take you to a step further implement step 2, and then step 3, and then step 4, until they got ultimate conformity. And that, in my opinion, is slavery, is really what it comes down to. Their goal is to everybody will make a certain amount of money. They'll pay a certain amount of taxes, a large amount of taxes, and their slavery will be driven through everything that you require. I mean, really required to live. Homes, cars, food, electricity, water, you name it, will be so ultra high that you will never have the opportunity to save money. This is their goal. This is not what's going on, although it is happening to some people right now. You will never have the opportunity to retire, to save money. Your goal is just to work and pay those large taxes to support what is being this group, this newly found government that is imposing all this on you. And again, I want to say, because it's worth saying, it happens in increments. What is going on right now in the White House is just one of many increments. Why do I bring this up? Because the people who are cheering for this on the other side of the aisle, I'm not allowed to say the word L, if you know what I mean. Not allowed to say that because the YouTube algorithms might shadow ban me again. They're applauding, regardless of whether they work in government or whether they're just one of your everyday citizens you might work with. They're all cheering for this conformity because it was not happening to them. This cancel culture was not happening to them. The tearing down of their statues was not happening to them. The assaults, the physical, bodily assaults was not happening to them. It is slowly starting to happen to them because they are part of the new slavery class. They just don't know it yet. They are part of it. They're just being used to implement it, but they don't know it yet. And slowly, they too are starting to open their eyes and starting to learn. It's starting to happen to them. Because as soon as they start to open up their eyes, they say something thinking, hey, I got an L. I got an L next to my name. They're certainly not going to attack me. They're not going to speak out against me. They're not going to go against my television show. They're not going to go against my comedy. As soon as they start to see and they open up their eyes and they utter the words freedom, it happens to them. As soon as they utilize their platforms, their television shows, their radio shows, and describe what they're seeing and what they're experiencing, it then happens to them. Joe Rogan's podcast, the guy was a freaking left. He claims he was a libertarian, but when I listened to him, he was full-fledged L. He's starting to open up his eyes. He's had his eyes opened up, I would say 6 months to a year now, and shit's starting to happen to him. Bill Maher, another left cuckoo. Boom, starting to open up his eyes, and every now and then something bad happens to him when he does step out of his place. Why do I bring this up? Last night, Dave Chappelle, another, I love this. I love it when it happens to the L group on the other side of the aisle. I have to talk in code now. I work, YouTube's got algorithms censoring your freaking speech and everything. I got to talk in code. I apologize. It's a new language. Learn it. I got a feeling we're going to all have to learn sign language to get around these algorithms from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. We're going to have to learn another language, it seems like. Dave Chappelle, another left-wing nut job. Hook, line, and sinker believes there is the race card is always being played against blacks. He truly believes that even in today's society, it's that's how it is. But one thing I can say about, and I used to love watching him. I still do. Funny guy. Very funny comedian. I love his the Dave Chappelle show when he would do these skits. Rick James. I'm Rick James, bitch. Where are all the white women at? I love Dave Chappelle. It's starting to happen to him. Last night he was attacked on stage. Believe it or not, Chris Rock was a guest. Chris Rock gets on the stage. What the hell was that? Was that Will Smith? One of his jokes, Somebody from the audience attacked Dave Chappelle. And I love it. Again, I gotta say it because it's worth repeating. I love it when these bad things are now starting to happen to the people who applauded this whole wokeness. They're getting there, and the more it happens to their side of the aisle, I say their side of the aisle, not just to give you a visual that they just work in government. No, out the other side of the aisle, I'm talking about people in your community, people you go to work with, the people you see in the park or the movies. Those people who fell for the whole mask thing, who fell for the compliance and this whole wokeness thing, it's them that I'm talking about. When it starts to happen here and there, speckled out to the people on their side, in their agenda, they too will, like a virus, will start to awake, to truly become woke, if you know what I mean. But the more the people become aware of really what's going on, the more of what I said before, I talk in circles, the more increments get poured out, and the more harsher the increments are. Because you got to beat down now, not just the people on the right side of the aisle. Now you got to contend with a new growing mass of people who are starting to see, wait, I fell for something that was completely a lie. And now, so their implementations, I'm sounding like a freaking imbecile. An imbecile is what I like to call it. Become harsher, stronger, reinforced. How dare anybody steps out of their line, their place. And that's what's going on. And we've only seen, in my opinion, like increment number 3 out of like 10. They're trust me when I tell you, it's slow conformity. You get normalized to that newly found conformity, and then they implement another stage. Implement slowly until you are a slave and just don't even realize it yet. Slowly until you're paying 80% tax from your paycheck, and you just didn't realize it yet. Anyway, I gotta go. I appreciate you listening to my little rant. But this is really what is happening to you, to all of us. I'll leave you with these words. I coined the phrase many years ago. Slavery never ended. It was perfected.